41 of the 1991 Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know of the unlawful the late Dr. James Stevens, challenging that letter and referring to it that it is a blatant misrepresentation because on that day, NAC never discussed any short resolution, neither sanction or appoint any committee to investigate as that letter has stated. In that same meeting, the former Vice President was present, and he also affirmed, and many will testify, who were in that NAC meeting on the 13th of November 2014, that no short resolution was passed. And on the 6th of March, the National Secretary General notified the former Vice President, 2015 to be specific, that he has been expelled pursuant to the recommendation of that so-called NAC investigating committee. On the 26th of March 2015, the former Vice President appealed after he had challenged his dismissal as Vice President by the former President. That appeal has up to this day not been heard. Going further, I will leave the rest for the leader to address the rest of the issues. Ladies and gentlemen, I will now take the opportunity to welcome the Chief of Staff, the Right Honorable BMT.
Thank you very much. Welcome everybody. I'm going to make it very brief because we're here to listen to one person to know that's the Vice President. And we'll soon be on the mic to tell you why we're running the this afternoon. But my task here is give me their brief, which is to present to you the man of the moment for today. Back in the 60s, a child was born to a very prominent section chief in the Yamango town of the Babylon section of Sangon Chico in the Ghana district, eastern Sierra Leone. That child grew up in Ghana and went to school between Ghana and Freetown. Had the opportunity to leave this country, went out to the United States, came back as a businessman, a successful one in the extractive industry, diamond and gold, was very successful in that business until it was identified as early as 2005 by the All People's Congress political party, and eventually was selected by then leader Anasai Roma as his running mate. That child, and now that man, no less aggressive than the former vice president, Chief Aladdin Salah Samsumana. Who is here today to talk to all of us about his political journey in advocacy, his plans for now and going forward. So all the questions that you have had for many, many years now will hopefully be answered today, and thereafter the summer 2018 will go out to the world to cascade that story, to make it more and more understandable, so that we will lay this matter to rest once and for all. Thank you very much. With that, thank you very much, Mr. BNT. Without much ado, I will now present the podium to the main speaker, the Honorable former Vice President of Sierra Leone. I have the
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Can I have this turned on, please? Honorable members of Parliament, present and past, members of the All People in Sierra Leone and in the diaspora, members of the Fourth Estate, our religious leaders present here this afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. In a way, I'm a little constrained with this in front of me. Can we remove it a little bit? It's been a long journey, a journey of life, a journey defining the moments we as Africans, specifically Sierra Leone, resolved to adopt a system of governance which was not initially ours, democracy, for, by, and of the people. We were ruled by kings and queens once upon a time, to which all the strongest man in the neighborhood will become the head of that community or nation. But today, in our acceptance of the doctrines of democracy, we are a civilized community yielding to the dictates of democracy. In so doing, the inception of political parties in which we resolved as a nation to kick against colonialism and adopt our state as an independent country and a democratic country to which the rule of law and separation of power has to prevail and be implemented, and equality for all of us in whatever we do. In so doing, we resolved to which political parties were formed away from what we read yesterday by rule by our colonial masters, to which our emancipation, our political emancipation, was embedded in us to make sure that Sierra Leone becomes a better country and taking the destiny into our own hands. Let us take away that cloak and resolve that the rule of law should prevail. And on that doctrine, we have a sacred document referred to as the Constitution of Sierra Leone, which stands supreme to any other document that is in our motherland, Sierra Leone. With the inception of political parties and the rule of law, the Constitution of Sierra Leone makes it abundantly clear that there is no other document that should supersede the Constitution of Sierra Leone according to Article 171, subsection 15 of the 1901 Constitution of Sierra Leone. In adherence to that particular clause of the Constitution, no political party should have the right or the temerity to have a constitution that will supersede the national constitution of Sierra Leone. That act of violence. It is that very document that we, if we decide to act ultra-virus against, it is that very document that makes us president, ministers, honorable, or local councillors. So if we kick against that document, we are kicking against the very sacred document that has put us in authority to govern our state, and then we have been hypocritical to the country of this nation. I say to you, all my citizens, fellow Sierra Leoneans, I have resolved that in my sojourn as a second generation in the All People's Congress political party, to which my father, the late Chief Samsumana, was a member, founding member of the Kono Progressive Movement, which had to join the APC to bring leadership for the APC in the 1967 election. I am second generation APC. Our parents took bread and butter from our table for the sustenance of the APC. Our parents lost their lives for the sake of the All People's Congress Party. They had to share the blood. And some of them were even incarcerated for the sake of the All People's Congress. To which I say today, my father, as you can see back there, the man in that cool caps, as we call it, Chief Samsumana, my dad, was in prison when my mother gave back to me in order for the sustenance of the APC party. So this epitomizes that I was born APC, and I will leave APC, and I shall die APC. So let me pronounce it out there. To all those skeptics out there who have been assuming that Samsumana is in APC, a just scam, I have my birth certificate, which is that old yellow, I will long so will make me in APC, not your small card, make me in APC. So on that note, I shall say no. I say no to anyone who shall stand in my way to say, the representation of my being in the APC, epitomizing what I stand for as global peace ambassador, and that's what I will sustain in making sure there is peace in this country, to make the unity for all of us as citizens of this country to work together and develop Sierra Leone and make Sierra Leone a better country for us and our unborn children. I say to the skeptics, you don't have to be afraid. Nobody should vilify me. My religious tolerance, my religious faith does not teach me to revenge, but it teaches me to accept the other person and forgive them if they have wronged me. I have seen it. I have experienced it here and beyond the horizons. That life does not require you to give back in revenge. For once upon a time, there was a story, a very renowned story we all know, we are aware of, I believe. The story of King Solomon, the wisdom of King Solomon. When two women were together, they had babies, and one of them lost their baby. Overnight, took her dead baby and transported the other baby to the lively one. The next day, they were in front of King Solomon. And then they decided who wants the baby. And then they said, it's me, both ways. Both women claim they live the baby. And at the end of the day, what happened? King Solomon, in his wisdom, since we don't know who is the true mother of this baby, let us split the baby alive and give the two halves to each one of you. And then the one said, before we dissect or split this baby, give it to her. And then we knew what happened. And that is Samsumana. I will not stand by to see anybody disintegrate or put APC into test so that APC will fall again. I shall stand to make sure and support APC to win the election. I go in that from the wisdom of Solomon to say that I shall not yield to those skeptics who believe that we are here to divide the APC. And so what have they done? They've decided that Samsumana is an obstacle to them. You're not afraid me. He said fair playing ground. We have adopted the principles of democracy. And if we have adopted the principles of democracy, why should we even have a fair playing ground? And let the best man win. Go. Let us unify the APC party and show to the rest of the country and the world that we are a party in readiness to govern with sincerity and transparency. But if we do not do transparency or adopt transparency within our own party, what are we showing to the world? Is that the example? We have heard what the lawyer mentioned, the moderator. We have heard what they have done. What I did is today to let you know in this house and outside there in the diaspora and the rest of the world that I have done everything humanly possible since I was removed unconstitutionally in the APC as a second generation of the APC, I did not take to arms like other people did. Like one of us did in the past, when we lost over 50,000 lives of our compatriots. Instead, what I did at that time, I had to run. For he who runs will live to fight another day. And I'm here to fight. I shall not be that individual will contribute towards anarchy in Sierra Leone. For those lives we lost yesterday, over 45,000 to 50,000 lives of our compatriots, recklessly, may I ask, we stand and give a moment of silence to our fallen heroes of this great nation. Let us rest in perfect peace. As we continue in the journey of making Sierra Leone a better place, in the corner of the APC party, what we believe in, All People's Congress, is not some people's Congress. It's a Congress that defines the grassroots. It's a Congress or party that has shown from our forerunners of Shaka public service, wherein development came into this country irrespective of tribe, region, or ethnicity. And I say to all of you today, I shall forever be that individual who, being a very good apprentice of Anes by Koroma, I'm a big brother, I'm a boss, I'm a brother, not to the business, something happened yesterday. But I'm very proud that nothing went wrong. It made me a better person. It made me to be exposed to see the world better. It made me to learn humanity. Humanity to live with the world and how to live with the next person. But I say to you, to the skeptics, let us come together and work together. And the unity of all of us will make Sierra Leone a better place for all of us and our unborn children. This is not the time to be afraid. This is not the time to go and say, Samsumana not qualified. When I was removed from office, I never took the APC party to court. I took the government of Sierra Leone to court. Why? Because you gave me the mandate and President Nkrumah in 2007 to govern this country under the sacred documents of the Constitution, and which I took the oath of office to uphold and maintain the dignity of the Constitution of Sierra Leone. So help me Allah. So I had to do that. I had to do that to go to court and protect the Constitution of Sierra Leone, the integrity of the Constitution of Sierra Leone. And when I did that, there was no fair judgment here. And I said, I have given up my life for myself. My life is for the people of this nation, and I shall proceed it. When I did, and I was able to seek redress at the ECOWAS court and brought back justice to this nation, to which today the Constitution of Sierra Leone, nobody will ever tamper with it and do what they did to me again. We have done that. And when they said to me that I had left the APC, some of them, they don't say I left APC, I go for party. I'll say this in Creole, right to the camera. I not left APC, and at the end they will direct me. I never left the APC. They kicked me out of my father's house. They kicked me out of inside the labor plants. I never formed a party. I was not the founder of the Coalition for Change. The Coalition for Change, not a different party, C4C. Now other people are forming. And then my people of Coroland decided that you have to come and lead your party. Because the C4C was the resurrection of the Congo Progressive Movement from Tabason Mbulua. And we did what we did. Fellow Sierra Leoneans, let's remember, the weeks of Shaka province is arithmetic to make APC to win. He had to go to the east to carve out from the rest of the Southeast. And we did that, and he won in the 1967 elections. It ran until he gave it to President Joseph Salido Momo for the incident that took place. And after the civil strife, the senseless war, we came back. In 1996, APC lost because of the lack of the proper strategy or formula that was initiated by Shaka Province Stevens. In 2002, it lost again. In 2007, APC under Dr. Ernest Baikroma went back to the drawing table and readopted the Shaka Stevens strategy, and we won in 2007. With a repeat of that in 2012, we won again without no runoff. And then we reneged on that in the APC, and we lost in 2018. We repeated that again in 2023. We lost. To dear fellow comrades of the APC, this is a time of reckoning. This is the time of realization that we need to come back to the drawing table and do what is best. Every vote counts. Every vote counts to make us to win the elections, irrespective of ethnicity and irrespective of region. This is the time for the APC to nationalize a party, that it cannot be some people's party, it has to be all people's party. For those people that created the rift between me and my superior, Ernest Baikroma, I say to you, you have failed. I say to you, would have failed, because for me, once I don't like you forever. No matter what you want to do, I have no time for that. We have resolved that, and in the videos and other instances, we have put that behind us to move forward. Me and President Nkrumah, not to work in business. We don't come together. But when we resolve that I have to come back to my father's party, from no less a person but my superior, Ernest Baikroma, I hearkened to that. In consultation with my family and friends, we resolved, and I came back to the APC. In 2020, I received a letter of reinstatement into the party. But then, how can you write a whole constitution just to disenfranchise an individual in 2022, making sure that you're making the mistake, the erroneous mistake, by inputting a clause that is also violent to the Constitution of Sierra Leone. Article 41 of the Constitution of Sierra Leone makes it abundantly clear the criteria that is required to become a presidential candidate in the All People's Congress and for Sierra Leone as well. This is echoed in Article 42 of the ECSL Act. Why should the political party act on various to that one? Let me learn from the brother at the greenhouse. They have expunged that. Let us learn from best practice, if that's so to speak. So when all of that happened, the 2023 elections, I'm here to tell my story, to let you know that I was denied not to contest the 2023 election. They say I don't qualify. And I said to them, no wahala, no problem, no problem. I said that. In humility, in tolerance, and in endurance. And then what happened? They allowed another Sierra Leonean, the name of Paul Almami Bangura, aka Paul Pajero, to contest. And why was I disqualified? They said I belonged to another party for the elections in 2023. And that was to say, because I was reinstated in 2020, does not make the 5-year clause that they had inputted in the Constitution. But Paul Almami Bangura, little did they know that he was the one in it in the CDP party. And why would you allow him to contest and disenfranchise just individual? So this is the time for APC to realize and expunge that ugly discriminating clause in our constitution and make sure that we bring everybody on board. Equality, parity, transparency. That is what the present chairman has been advocating, but is that being implemented? So with that, after they had resolved and I decided to pick up my new card, I was issued the 2023 membership by the Secretary General. And I looked at him and I laughed. Mr. Secretary General, they tell me I will be member of APC, Nana P in this something. Because it was in 1982 that I first received my APC membership card under the Secretary General of the party, E.T. Kamara. That was the card I received. But my biological card, as pointed from my father, was in 1962. So, now you tell me something like new member, honorary foundation member, and then we proceeded. Because of that, I went and took my matter to the elders council of the party, and they resolved that they should give me my rightful card and allow me to contest. Hey, boy, not to fulfill the company now. That happened. And what next? The elders council, in their intervention, they never listened to them. Matter of fact, on one occasion, we went to the party office to discuss the matter. Nobody showed up on their side. And we endured all of that. I said, because of when I sat behind. We continued. And I persevered to make sure that we can resolve the issues of our party within the party, not take it dirty close outside. Let us resolve an intra-party dispute amicably. For I stand as an epitome of peace in the APC, that when we resolve the issue of Samsumana, I shall serve as the ambassador to go out there and make sure people like Mabel Bangoya to come back to the APC. And I shall endeavor to reach out to other people to make sure that they come back to the APC. I shall serve as that ambassador. Well, I'm not afraid. There's no guarantee that any one of us in this room will see tomorrow. So why do you fight as if you don't have faith? It's all vanity. But let's respect the next person. When you respect me, you're only respecting me, you're respecting my own people of Bono land. You are giving a future to the youth of this nation. But when you try to segregate against an individual, expecting fair play, you are only shooting yourself in the foot. It happened in the past, and we should renege on such errors. So on that note, I proceeded within the party to the next level of making my complaint to the National Grievance and Disciplinary Handling Committee of the party. And in that, it was a shame that an organ within the party that has the mandate to advocate properly said they don't have the jurisdiction, ignoring the fact that in the very constitution we were talking about, in Article 60E of that very constitution, makes it abundantly clear that they have the mandate to handle internal disputes within the party. And they said, we cannot, party don't have been court, I don't want no court. But I have to say to you, since we have exhausted all remedies within the party, let me say to you all, I have resolved, and the entire membership of the Psalm 28, and my people that are with me nationwide, that we shall proceed to the PPRC to seek remedy. We shall proceed. As I stand here, we have already tendered our documents, and they are with the PPRC, and we are waiting for them to invite us to go in. But if APC can't give me candidates, I will talk the case for law. Let the best man win. We have no value, let no value. 2 shillings and 1 pound not to the same. 2 shillings and 1 pound not to the same. What I have to deliver to the APC will not plenty. But I assure you, we are Chinese people from Ghana. And I encourage all of us that the APC is the party will be able to make this country change. Me not been good apprentice to be boss. No everything I've been doing. But indeed, at that time, the infrastructure, evidence-based, speaks for itself. That you will agree with me that that beautiful team of Sam and Anes will create development in this country. And those evil people that plundered that away from you will upon them again. Let us be the arbingers of peace. Let us be the arbingers of unity for the APC and for Sierra Leone. For only in unity shall we be able to develop our country. And when we unite our country, we will be able to have to Sierra Leone a better country for all of us. With the aspect of making sure that good governance is adhered to, which means separation of power, rule of law, and no corruption will help us. The aspects of socio-economic activities will enhance the livelihood and betterment of this country. For we have so much, yet we have nothing. Let us arise as Sierra Leoneans, as patriotic Sierra Leoneans, proactive Sierra Leoneans, that we have to work together to redeem our country. I am not only working for the resurrection of the APC, but for the redemption of Sierra Leone. And you are my partners in that redemption crusade. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Can we maintain quiet please? If we know we have actually enjoyed the speech of the former Vice President, can we now calm down and prepare our questions? Like we said before, this is the moment of truth. This is the moment of reality. So let's prepare questions. We're going to entertain approximately 10 questions from you. So ladies and gentlemen, let's be starting with the time of those questions. We want to take questions from the former state and the general public. Please state your name and be very brief with the questions. Thank you.
Samsumana.
Thank you very much. My name is Awa Sheikh Mustafa, editor of Global Times newspaper. Honorable former Vice President, with all what you have gone through in the APC, some of which I am a witness to, do you think you have a future in the APC? That is one. Secondly also, do you think the PPRC will be able to address your concern? And if not, will you go to court, for instance, to seek redress? Thank you very much.
That was supposed to be one question, but you asked two questions. I know what is made of. I know what Sheikh Bao is made of. And I have no hesitation to let you know that I am second generation, as I mentioned, in the APC. And I believe that this problem will be resolved. And I have the faith that it will be resolved. Because not too long ago, President Nkrumah, through the national executive that visited him, gave them the mandate that they should resolve few issues, inclusive the Samsumana issue and the Samura Kamara issue. So it is left with them to resolve this matter. And coming out and going this far, I am sure that we need to resolve our intra-party issue. The next level, as you question about PPRC, and the PPRC has the mandate, according to the PPRC Act, to delve into intra and inter-party matters. And I believe that they are a capable organ or institution that will be able to dispense justice. This is not the first case they are having from APC. Recently, they resolved the issue of Sylvia Olanka blinding doctor for our membership. Samsumana cannot be an exception. Thank you. You further into the issue of court. As you can see, I've already concluded that as if it's going to end there. I have to say to you that I will stop at nothing to make sure justice is done, not for me alone, but for everyone. You will agree with me, as I've mentioned, and you will be a close follower of me in those challenging times that I worked assiduously to restore the dignity and respect of the Constitution of Sierra Leone. I shall not tire. I shall not relent. I will make sure that justice is done to everyone, not only for me, but for everyone as members of the party. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Shall we go to the lady at the back?
Good afternoon. I am Famous Say, editor of Public Review newspaper. Mr. Former Vice President, during your tenure, you took some steps to take decisive actions, such as the shutting down of the Grafton radio station and the establishment of the Independent Police Complaint Board. How does those decisions reflect your bold and leadership philosophy? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Sise. Leadership is divine. Leadership is divine. And justice has no fear of favor. In my responsibilities, I had the fear of my maker. For when you're in leadership, you have dominion over your fellow human beings. Dispense with fear of God, and then respect your citizenry. Things that happened that I had to take tough action was not from me. It was the institution when the legislative body of this country had passed the bill to make it as laws of this country. I was there in the executive to adhere to what the legislative had given to us to go by. That was our Bible. So taking actions and bringing peace to country, it was very important. It was a very crucial time when I had to take the action of shutting down those 2 radio stations. We were coming from a bloody civil war, and remember, there was only a radio station in Rwanda that caused the death of over 800,000 Rwandese. So it was imperative that if 2 radio stations wanted to be nuisance in our society, we were not ready to run again. We are here in peace, and I had to take that bold action to shut the radio stations down. And I promise you, when you make me president again, I shall do what it requires to enjoy your peace, freedom, and liberty in this country. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Thomas Dixon. I'm the editor of Salon Times and New Age newspaper. First of all, I'm also the chairman of the Guild of Newspaper Editors. And I think this has become a problem for us as journalists. Whenever there is a press conference, we see lots of political people, especially when it's coming from political parties. And we've raised that with both political parties, and we think that some journalists may not ask critical question, because it may seem intimidating to them. Now to my question. Mr. Former Vice President, you said what happened between you and former President Kuma is nobody's business, and that he's your brother. Going for the leadership of the APC and subsequently the President of Sierra Leone, those are albatross that will be on your neck that you have to clarify. That's one, you said you are going to sponsor the party for the 2007 election, you didn't sponsor. 2, that you said you are a Muslim, you are not a Muslim. So those are issues you should clarify. And then secondly, you said that you are APC, you lived APC and you die APC. I could recall in 2018 in the runoff, there was statement from the APC appealing to you to come to the party, and you have a decision at that time to make, critical decision. You did not make any decision. You did not support any of the 2 main political parties. Don't you think that is what they are using against you? Because in Creole, we have the saying that if when the host they on fire, you know, count water. Now when the host don't burn, now they count water. So what would you say to those things?
Thank you. Thank you very much. To start with, live I was born, he left the one that I was born APC. And I will leave and die APC, Thomas. Thomas has been a very close follower since the time I was in office. And his mentor in journalism was somebody very close to my heart. May his soul rest in perfect peace. And I say to you, Thomas, you cannot run away from yourself. Your identity is your identity. No matter what's the circumstance or circumstances, you are yourself. You cannot run away from yourself. I was born APC, lived APC, and died APC. I will die APC. I will say this because there's no albatross on my neck. Because at the time when the 2018 elections, there are things that happened that never saw the face of daylight or in the back office. It was I, myself, that went to one of the seniors in this country and I told him, call President Komalo to talk. I did that. He's my witness. And those people that were present, they are our witnesses. And I resolved that we should do that. And I took the message. And when I went back, my people were very angry in my stronghold from here and there. In leadership, you have to be mindful of how you speak, or else you can create forever damnation. You are very tactful in your journalism. I know you very well to finger's tip. I know how you play around things. So we are politicians, Thomas. What I told my people, I said, when women take men for complacers, they cut in hand. What did they do? They told the left, what is it? I told the blood stop, what did they do? I'm trying to tell Thomas that I did achieve with him. And then the second time, in conclusion, I said to them, we said trap, that's before you put an also, we the trap is suicide to go. Thank you very much. Thomas, we believe through that. Life is not a pleasant journey. It's full of ups and downs. But death makes life more interesting. The ups and downs, the elements we go through, makes us better people. I will not relent. I will continue. For my life, it's not for me. It's for the people of this nation. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mohammed Maniyangan, CEO and acting manager, YTV, Common Group. My question to the Vice President, a lot of critics, what I call them critics and people who claim to know you better, always says, you know the forgive. That is one of the things that is almost everywhere in this country. Why do you think they say this? I will quote that. Why do you think that is always been said? And then the other question I think is, Chief, what's the relationship between you and the authorities of Kono District, especially the traditional leaders? Thank you very much. You have a good evening.
Thank you very much. YTV, it's better to say YTV. My relationship with the traditional leaders is perfect. I aim from that institution, and I've protected the integrity of that institution, in office and out of office, so to speak. Now look at it, I don't see why, and no ACC no run after me. They say, Chief became not a thief man. And the issue you mentioned, when they say not to forgive, that he doesn't forgive. To start with, look at the data itself. All that happened to me in the APC. What did I do? I'm back in the APC. But for some, they have gone. What do you talk? What do you talk now? What would you talk to someone or say to someone that I've gone through such challenges and I decided to put that behind me and move on for their better days ahead in life? I told you, he who runs will live to fight another day. And I'm back. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. And I'm the editor of the Times Essence newspaper. All the vice presidents, in representation, we will made reference to section 56B of the APC Constitution, which discriminates and contravenes 1991 Constitution. My concern here, we don't know when political parties draft their constitution. This constitution are gazetted before being adopted. If you have concerns of this before this time, why not raise objections before the constitution was gazetted initially? Why not raise objection, and why now? Don't you think you are fighting a losing battle for the fact that the constitution has been gazetted? That's one. Secondly, there was this issue about unlawful dismissal, even though the Supreme Court had their own interpretation about the law. You took the matter to the Supreme Court, and at the end of the day, you are forced to take the matter again to the ECOWAS court. You took the matter to the ECOWAS court, and against ECOWAS court, a decision was arrived, a ruling was made in your favor. And as to speak, irrespective of the fact that the ECOWAS court took a decision in your favor, the government of Sierra Leone did not go by those decisions as we speak. Now we have plans to take this matter to the PPRC. And you and I know the way institutions in this country operate. There are political interferences, and most of these institutions they are governed by orders from above. What if you go to the PPRC and they do, you are denying of your rights, about the concerns raised, about the discrimination clause in the APC Constitution? What will be your last option? Thank you very much. And the question will be answered by one of the legal persons in the team. Thank you. Mr. Zakaria Ajibokano. Alright, thank you very much, Mr. Tijanjalo. Your question appeared or seemed to be very legal in its nature. So because it is legal, I'll provide a basis and I'll situate my answer in the context of legality. You referenced section 56B of the APC's 2022 Constitution. Now, in answer to that, I will refer you to section 171.15 of the Constitution of Sierra Leone, Act No. 6 of 1991. The import and spirit of that particular provision is such that the Constitution of Sierra Leone, its provisions are superior and supreme to any other law, inclusive the APC's Constitution. So any other constitution is a subsidiary of the national constitution. The provision further states that the Constitution remains the ground norm. What is the ground norm? It is the highest law of the land. Any law that contravenes or that is inconsistent with the provisions of the national law is to the extent of that inconsistency null and void. It is to the extent of such irregularity if it is a nullity. So in essence, when the APC makes laws, the party as a party reserves the right to make laws, no doubt, but when it makes its laws, it must be in sync with the national laws. It cannot be at variance with the national laws. When it is, then there's a fundamental problem. And I'm sure that is the reason why the leader, Chief Alhaji Samsumana, is here, because he's a member of the party, because he's a party people, to put in context. He has said this issue is an issue of familial solutions. So if the party can, it's a human law, it can be corrected. So the APC still has the chance to go back to the drawing board and correct it in the best interest of Sierra Leone and in the best interest of the political party of the institution. Thank you very much. To contribute to that answer, when the proposed draft of the 2022 Constitution was put out, I wrote a letter warning the party of the discriminatory effect of that particular clause and its unconstitutionality, and advised that they remove that particular addition to that clause, that they have to go in conformity with Section 41 of the Sierra 1991 Constitution Act number 6. But they reneged on that. So it is for them, I warn them that in the future, this particular clause will cause legal challenges for the party. And we are there now. With respect to the question regarding him taking the decision of the court with respect to the case of Alhaji Chief Samsumana versus the Attorney General and Victor Fo, not versus APC. And the decision of the Supreme Court is clear. They rule within the premise of what they brought before them. Samsumana is saying that Section 50 and 51, which gives the electorate are the ones that elect the president and the vice president, and there is a prescribed procedure to remove the president, and they have to go to parliament for them to evoke impeachment proceedings. Whilst Anis Kumar came with Section 40 sub 1 after saying that he has the supreme executive authority, and the court ruled in the premise that in the interest of chaos and the public interest, they cannot even entertain the injunction in removing Victor Fo as vice president as he has been selected. It will create chaos. In the interest of peace, they ruled against him. However, they even mentioned in that ruling, notwithstanding that the party had not addressed his appeal, which is within the 30 days period that Section 811 in the appeal section gives him the right to appeal within the 30 days period. He had appealed on the 26th. His expulsion was on the 6th of March 2015. He appealed 20 days within that period. Up till today, it has not been heard. Having said that, even when he was served the reinstatement letter, he paid all his dues from 2016 to 2023, including the 2024 and 2025. He even went further to pay his flag bearer fee. Can a non-member pay a fee for them to, they did not reject, neither say, oh, you are not a member. They did not do that. By their conduct itself, they have acknowledged the fact that his expulsion was unlawful and he has been reinstated with all his rights. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. Okay, Chief. My name is Marion George, and I work for Epic Radio. I'm only getting to know that you are not the founder of the C4C. And my question is this the first time you telling the public that you were not the founder? If yes, why now?
Thank you. Just a little caveat to Mr. Jallo. Mr. Jallo, pay attention. A caveat to what your question. Let me say, I've already mentioned that we have tendered our documents to the PPRC, so we don't want to prejudice anything here. So good for that. Madam, Epic Radio, very interesting. I was even listening to your station this morning. One of such people, John Koroma, and clearly elucidated some of the issues about Samsumana. And I have to say to you that I don't blame you, you're a very busy person. I'm sure you don't have time for a lot of social media here and there. But I've mentioned this in the past in several quarters that I did not form the C4C. I never went to PPRC or sent anyone. It was after C4C was formed that I was called upon by my people, and that is ceremonious, that they see that leadership in me to head the C4C. After the elections, well, I told them, in my father's mansion, there are many rooms. For I shall go and prepare a place for you, and I shall call you C4C to come in the APC house for us to dwell. Thank you. Thank you. My name is Usman Kamara, Mr. Former Vice President. I came from the same state, Minnesota, where you were. So my question is, after all what you have gone through the APC, they treated you badly. You know, you were removed from office unconstitutionally. I was one of your big fans. I've never met you at that time. I fought in a lot of APC forum in diaspora that what ABK was unconstitutional. The vice president and president is constitutional. You have to go through parliament and do impeachment. Now, my question is, do you think it was the right decision for you to come back to the APC? And there are critics out there saying you are only in this for yourself. Samsumana wanted to become president because he has ego and he wanted to revenge. So what will you say to those critics that you're not in this for revenge or for ego for yourself? You're in this for the Sierra people. Thank you very much. Well, I'm happy that thank you very much for your support from a distance, from the state of 10,000 lakes, to which we had served as mentors for some of you. When I was in Minnesota, the black population was only 6%. And we went through all of the racism to make sure that people like you were able to enjoy what you enjoyed while you sojourned in Minnesota. Because I believe in equity. I believe in parity. I don't believe in revenge. It's foolhardy for someone to think like that when you're in leadership. In leadership, you have to be tolerant. And in leadership, you have to be humble. And in leadership, you should endure. THE. That's my mantra. For I have decided to resolve that I should be the one to caress my miseries. When I caress my miseries, I'll be in control. My problems should not subsume me. And when I say this, I'm doing that not for myself. I have said it clearly this afternoon, that I'm in this not for me, but I want you to be part of the crusade for the redemption of Sierra Leone. So don't think I'm self-centered or egocentric and
doing what I'm trying to pursue. No, I'm saying it's the public perception, don't worry. It's not personal. You're from Minnesota, so to speak, and whatever it is I have to say to you this afternoon, that for those skeptics saying that it's in for, it's not the end of the day. I come from a very lucrative private sector, but I had to put that aside because what I was getting, it was only from my pocket. I have to give you an example. You spoke about, or we all talked about Bill Gates once upon a time. We talked about people like Rockefeller once upon a time, right? These were people that were very rich people in their own domain. And today we talk about Elon Musk. But there are other set of people in life I refer to as Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, or Mother Teresa. What is the difference between these two sectors? These people they are in for their own pocket. It was when it's overfilled, they give back, they say charity. But the other, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa, they gave their lives to humanity. And you don't find a bust of those rich people today, but you find a bust of Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, or Martin Luther King, or Mother Teresa. And Mother Samsumana said that women of vanity. It's what she did for the people of the environment. I have set the record that no more again shall anyone remove unconstitutionally the Vice President of Sierra Leone across the world. Thank you.
Chief Samsumana, Mohamed Bakakama here from AYV Television. We have explained a lot and elaborated on so many points. But in all of this, do you accept any personal responsibility for the circumstances that led to your removal? Finally, if denied the flag bearership role, will you remain in the APC or consider another political party?
Give me the chance. What was the first part of your question again?
Do you take any responsibilities that led to your removal?
You know, like I said earlier, life is not a smooth path. You dine with people, and there's something else. I'm a lover of reggae music, and the great Robert Nelson Marley said, "Some we eat and drink with you, and behind there's also God you." The very people that I dine with and call them my own were the very ones that became the Brutuses against me. But yet, when the day of reckoning came, they came up and said, "All what you talk about you, Samsumana, and Allah, I have full judgment on that, and I've pardoned them. We are all brothers and sisters. All this nothing is vanity. It makes my CV much more richer and tells you my level of tolerance, as I mentioned to you, and my level of endurance, as I mentioned to you." And the other aspect of your question, the second part, what is the guarantee, as I mentioned? Say, I will see tomorrow. I'm here, maybe I will not see 8 billion. If my maker says, calls me, I'm out. But I want justice to be real. And I want to work for what this man stood for. And what this man did, he was incarcerated for his ideology. And that's what's in my DNA. It's not an issue of me becoming president, not to power, say I for being power president. But power get new ideas for see how the country for go I see now. But me, Samsumana feels there should be justice for everyone. Some people even frown at me. These people don't like you still fashioning. I said, Pastor, you asked me, Papa, Holy Spirit must slap me because they didn't left me. I'm sorry, but we are APC, we are going to us, we are going to us, and we will die to Moscow.
Thank you very much. My name is Pastor Tamarisi Beki. Constitutionally in this nation, former vice presidents should enjoy certain benefits like pension or security. We have seen where former members of parliament and former ministers have received their own. For my understanding up to now, you don't have these facilities. Why are you going to say about that?
Thank you very much. Thanks for your concerns about my welfare and the mercy that should prevail in our democracy. I accept the fact that yes, I have not been given what is my due as former vice president, but I'm sure the government will work on it. We government here debt for government, you need a rotting, or government here debt for me, not a rotting. Why the one they will pay me? And I'm sure when you meet me president, they won't pay me now, I will pay myself. But guess what? It's not for me. I'm going to another area that I have committed my life to. So please, thank you for your concern or raising that matter. Exactly. We should not really we should not put that in the fore for the international community to see that. We are the shame to us from the country. I want to make sure that Sierra Leone is showcased out there as an example for other countries to emulate, like it happened in the past when Sierra Leone was known as the Athens of West Africa, or the first country with a court of appeal in the sub-region, or the country with the first radio station or community hospital. Athens of West Africa that gave that knowledge to Nigerians settled in their countries. To that, and not to be criminal from the. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I'm Honorable Zanjaya Smith, Chairperson for former members of Parliament. I've listened with rapt attention to the presentation of the Honorable Vice President, and he spoke extensively on his peace mantra and how he has represented Sierra Leone on the platform as peace ambassador. There are issues right now, an emphasis between the party and the electoral justice team. What steps have you taken as peace ambassador to bring these two factions together? That's one. Because they said in Mali we get for sweetener by the bachelor's eve. If you want to bring peace to the party, as you did state, that Mohamed Bangia and others, you bring them to the party. Do you want to wait till you're given the platform to run as the flag bearer before you bring everybody on board? Or have you taken any step at all to bring peace to the party? That's one. I have a pregnant question. And my second question, what the previous speaker did ask, if you were not fortunate to be given the flag, would you support the party? Now, we've seen in 2018 and 2023, of which I happen to be the technical lead to the campaign manager. You were really not much visible in that campaign, and I can understand why. Because you were still fighting to be recognized as an APC person after you have submitted your application to be readmitted or reinstated into the party. You were not much visible. Are we going to see the same thing in an event that you deny the flag bearer at the next National Delegates Conference? Because as it is now, we have over 20-something aspirants, including your very self, and I hope that that clog is expunged so that it will be a level playing field for everyone. Out of 20-something aspirants, the chances are very slim in this convention for anyone to claim victory if we go on a level playing field as we're hoping. What if you do not emerge? Would you support the party wholeheartedly? Would we see you campaigning alongside whoever may emerge? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'll start with your last question, which I had already shed light on from the question that you referred to. I had mentioned that to me all is vanity, but respect for the next person is very important. The respect for me and the respect of my own people is very important. If we have to go back, like I mentioned, that there was an agreement between the APC and the Kono Progressive Movement, SRLM Progressive Movement, on the 24th of October 1964, between Shaka Province Stevens and Tambasongo Brewer, which the APC has never adhered to. I have to say to you that in my own domain, we have one person at a time that will stand out as the leader of Kono land. And it was Tambasongo Brewer then came Ehabu Kuroma. Today the lot has fallen on me. I have the moral responsibility to protect the integrity of my people. And that is why I'd ask that they should do what they were supposed to do. And at that time in the 2023 elections, for the 2023 election, you never saw me because then presidential aspirant, Dr. Samsumana Kamara, in a meeting held at my house with all of the, almost 90% of the executive and his campaign team, he agreed that the next day they would issue my letter of reinstatement, which never saw daylight. And my people gave me the message, they said if you never have a letter, you're not coming here. So who don't have me for go against me, I didn't get a blessing. That's why you never saw me. But I gave him a piece of advice. I didn't mean that my friend and brother will refer to as each other. We call each other commonly as Kamalo. He calls me Kamalo, I call him Kamalo. And then that would have been resolved. But still, I'm sure he said something to me which I will put in the public domain. To me, he is my friend and my brother. So when you ask about me going out to campaign, citing one or two people, I will not resolve. Let justice prevail. Let us be respected for who we are. Not some people's Congress. It should be all people's Congress. And that integrity. By earning that integrity, because election is numerical. It has to be number-based. Every vote counts. You cannot say it's a particular region or district. It has to be the whole country. So if we say it's the whole country, let us nationalize APC. And when we shall have nationalized APC, even I become a flag bearer or not, you will see me in Timapata Motkali campaign and give my support to what he taught me to do. And what was the other question again? You said your question was pregnant and my answer.
What steps have you taken?
Okay, in the area of peace, before the EJ came into effect, we had what was called tripartite, and it's ongoing. You will recall that before the tripartite report came in June last year, there was all this commotion of chaos, etc., that was looming around, that if the country was seething with violence again. What did I do? In my capacity as a former statesman, or as a statesman, so to speak, and also in my capacity as the Global Peace Ambassador for the Declaration of Peace and Cessation of Wars in the world, which I am one of 25 people in the world, I cannot give peace a chance or preach peace somewhere else and I don't give peace in my backyard. It will be hypocritical on my part. What did I do? Before the due date of the tripartite report, I went to the Independent Peace Commission and asked them that I don't want us to have a knee-jerk reaction. What is happening now in the social media and what the party in governance, they are now mooting, it's not good for us. If I can be used by your organization, I'm ready to be part of you to preach peace. I proceeded to the Interreligious Council and met with them, and I explained to them that once upon a time, you stood in front of the barrel just to mitigate peace for us in this country. And I smelled unrest. and sensing unrest, I want you to intervene so that there will be peace. And further, to the chairman of Council of Paramount Chiefs, so that he can disseminate that message to his rest of his membership or our traditional leaders. And I spoke also to Dr. Samsumana. I went to his house very early in the morning and I talked to him. You know, he's my friend, he's my brother. And I talked to him, I preached peace to him. Not to do or die. We have to be careful. Looking at what had happened when they stormed this house the other day for August 26th, and I advised that we should give peace a chance. In that same vein, I continue to do that in my own backyard. You are my witness. You know what happened. The very people that were so much there by the seasons of my life, you saw them dining with me. You saw me visiting them. You saw us in pictures. You saw us in all pleasantries. I'll continue to give peace a chance. For peace is the foundation for development. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Former Vice President. Thank you. My name is Dr. Sayo Sorimara. I'm the former Director General of the ONS and Advisor to President. I'm currently the Chairman of the APC for Adego District and a member also of the National Disciplinary and Grievance Handling Committee. Technically, I'm the Security Advisor for the APC. I am here not to ask a question, but to make certain cautionary statements that will be an embodiment of our political party, the APC. I have served in critical situations, and the former president, Ernest Bai Koroma, knows that very well. The role I've played to intercede and discuss issues concerning the former vice president, by extension our sister Diana, and even the former first lady, Madam Siakroma. So I have done a lot. So that is why I'm here also today to re-emphasize and reiterate some of these things. The leader has made his statement. It is clear, it is transparent, and the modus operandi of this particular session is to see how he will be 100% integrated into the party so that we can win the 2028 elections, which is the most important. We shouldn't, and we must not lose focus on that. That is the most important. And I will courteously and most respectfully advise our leader to talk to the brothers and sisters, the supporters of the APC. And I wouldn't want people to misconstrue the Psalm 28 movement as a sort of dichotomy from the mainstream of the party. Because if that happens, then it will not be good for the total fabric of the party. The Psalm 28 movement should be recalibrated and explained in detail to people. It is not a movement against the APC. It is an integral part of the APC movement. to win the elections. In light of that, therefore, people might want to use this as a Trojan horse or a necessity to undermine the fundamental strength of the ABC party. But in leadership, as we know, we should have also the courage and the foresight to know how to talk to our people so that things don't go out of hands. Misunderstandings, just like the leader said here, ought to happen. But as individuals, as enlightened people, we have the locus and we have the capability to sit down, to handle the issues. The last point of contact where the issue came from, I'm a member of that particular committee, the Disciplinary and Grievance Handling Committee. We did our best, and at the end of the day, we said also that the leaders of the party should also continue to work with the former vice president so as to see how we can be able to peacefully and amicably handle the situation. So having said that, I have the courage to encourage His Excellency to see how he can continue to work in the interest of the party. And thank you very much. Thank you very much for your piece of advice and adhering to peace and advocating how best we can resolve our impasse. I don't believe in knee-jerk reaction. I believe in setting the modus operandi, as you mentioned, for every organization. That is the reason why the Psalm 28, which like other people have their own within the APC party, we are not a movement outside of the party. We are only as a movement within the party. You are my witness, and many of us here, that some of the rantings or the political cacophony that have been ongoing in the media, that needs to be addressed immediately. I repeat, the political cacophony that has been ongoing from representative of the party in the media has to be addressed. Because when you are given a place of responsibility, you have to act responsibly. I stand on the story of the Imam this afternoon. Thank you very much. We will call on Madam Nanette. Madam Saliba Kabu. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. This brings the end of the questions and answer session. Madam Saliba Kabu is going to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. Honorable former Vice President, our mother in the house, wife of the former Vice President, honorable MPs here present, party officials, invited guests and dignitaries, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, standing before you here, I am Mrs. Saleh M.A. Kabo, the regional coordinator of the Psalm 28 movement in the Southern region. Today, indeed, is a remarkable day in our lives as APCNs. To this, I take the golden opportunity to thank Almighty God for making this day possible. With God, all things are possible. God has made it possible to make this occasion a great success. Thank you, God, and we are ever grateful to you, our Maker and our Master. I thank God again for giving strength and energy for making it possible for our invited guests to attend this press conference. At this juncture, on behalf of the Psalm 28 movement, I thank all our invited guests for taking time off their busy schedules to grace this all-important occasion. May God reward you all. Additionally, I thank the management of the Radisson Blu for providing us this venue. All media personnel here present, please share this valuable information you have received so that everybody will know the true story of Chief Alhaji Siddiqui Abubakar Samsumana. For this, I thank you most sincerely, and may God reward you for this good job. Over again, I thank you all for coming, and I want to thank the organizers, the team, the Psalm 28 team that made this conference possible, did all the arrangements, all the runnings, all the sleepless nights, all the brainstorming. I thank you all for the support we have given to our leader today. Long live Samsumana, long live the Psalm 28 movement.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. We've come to the end of this session. I want to extend a message to all journalists. After the session, Psalm 28 movement, we are open to interviews. You can reach us on the numbers you have on the invitation. The class member of Psalm 28 movements are open to answer to interviews on the radio stations and so on. We are ready for the media days. Thank you once again.
hereby declare Chief Alhaji Sadiq Samsumana as the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. I am Dr. Christina William Top, Chief Electoral Commission and National Returning Officer.
This Chief Alhaji Sadiq Samsumana declaration today's conference. It is of course a great honor for this event. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give the session now from its view of the country.
I hereby declare